Hi guys, this is Rob from Rob's Traditional Creations. I just wanted to show you the results of leaving those hides out in the frozen weather, freeze drying basically. This was the smallest hide. It's been out for 3 days, probably about 72 hours, and it is softened. I worked this maybe 15-20 minutes just to unstiffen it by running it over the back of a chair. It does have just one spot still that I think can use some attention, because I'll give you the hints. If those of you that have never tanned a hide before, if you brain tan this and then you start stretching it, you got to keep stretching it until it is completely dry. A couple of ways to show that is in the areas that it is completely dry, it'll spring back when you pull it. You can see that it springs back. Back here towards the top, the butt, it still doesn't spring back, so that means it's still a little moist. Another way to tell is just to hold your hand in a fist around it like this, and it feels cool to the touch. It's not warming up, so you know there's still moisture in there. A spot that would be nice and already tanned would be something it's starting to get warm on my hand right now, so I know there's no moisture up there. There's still just a touch up here. As you can see, this hide came out pretty nice. It's very supple and soft. Couple holes in it. This is a bullet hole, and let me see, this is a bullet hole here. The rest of these I worked on a PVC pipe. I got to go back to a nice piece of a tree to scrape on, because the PVC is unforgiving. When you bite into the hide, digs right into the plastic and puts holes all over in this. So that's okay, but I'm going to go back to a wooden beam. Couple of the things that I said on the video, a couple of the guys were asking, they couldn't hear me, understandable with the wind. All I did was I brained those hides like the last time. I wrang them out, hand wringing them. You want to leave the brains into the hide. That way they're still there. The oils are still here as the water evaporates from the freeze drying process. I just hung them on a line. What you want to do is wait till you got days in the single digits as lows. If they're the highs, that's even better, but you don't want to go too much over 20 as a high, because if the sun gets on that hide and thaws it and then the wind dries it out, you're going to have rawhide. You're going to turn into a sheet of this after all your hard work, which can be used for things too, but you really don't want that. You want this nice and soft. Some things I did, if you go on to Eastern Survival channel that I mentioned on that video, he shows how you can make this out of a $9.99 blanket that you get from Harbor Freight. Couple things that I did, I will mention that he didn't. Wherever you cut, you want to sew a seam. I had it start to pull apart in a couple places, and I just reinforced it with more wool blanket, as you can see. So I have reinforcements on each side. I took some old brain tan scraps that I had, and I made shoulder straps so I don't wear through when I'm wearing a pack. And on the elbows, that's always a wear out spot. I put some grommets in there for a hood. I used antler horn for some nice looking ties here. The hood, I did the same thing that he did, only I doubled the fabric. So this is double thickness for the heavy winds that we get up here in north. I think Darren is from Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. The other improvement that I made is when I sewed in the pocket, and I saw this on another site, I sewed in, I folded it under and sewed that together and left about this much room. What that made was a small little pocket that I can stick things like car keys and things like that. They won't pop out of this main pocket. So that's about all the improvements I made on it. I would just make sure that you use, like I said, wherever you cut and it's an open area, it'll start to unravel the fabric. You want to fold it over and put a seam into it. We're still waiting on a camera that we can stop and pause and edit the videos, and I'll go into making some more of these, but this is just a haversack I'm working on. I've got it all sewn up. I've got a smaller pocket inside of it. Right now I'm searching for some buttons. I'll have a button on the pocket here, 3 buttons across, and I will show, everybody's got on there how to oil skin, but I'll show you how to do that. And we're going to oil skin this up so that it's waterproof. I don't want to say waterproof, but very water repellent. And I also have a ground cloth that I made, and I'm going to make a tarp for a tent. And we can, not a tent, but a shelter, a lean-to shelter. And we can go over that. So that's all. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. This trick works really well. When it goes down into the single digits and you get a lot of wind, it dries that hide out even more. I got 2 large ones, double the size of this one, out there, and I still have 3 or 4 more days of nice cold weather, so I'm going to leave them out there as long as possible, save myself some work. In the spring or the early summer, we're going to go over how to smoke them, but I can't smoke them in my backyard, or else I'll have the fire department here. So what we're going to do is do this out at my property, and probably about the same time I cut down a tree, so for my beam. Any questions, feel free. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all the comments. Keep them coming. Once again, this is Rob from Rob's Traditional Creations. Have a nice day.